What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is We Bought a Zoo. Wait, it's not right. No, wait, it's The Zookeeper's Wife, The Zookeeper's Wife. The Zookeeper's Wife is a biographical drama film that was directed by Niki Caro and is based on the 2007 nonfiction book of the same name written by Diane Ackerman. So The Zookeeper's Wife kicks off in the year 1939 in Warsaw, Poland, and primarily follows two zookeepers named Antonina, played by Jessica Chastain, and her husband Jan, played by Johan Heldenbergh. These two run a very successful zoo in Warsaw until Nazi Germany decides to drop aerial bombs on Warsaw and eventually invade the country of Poland during this attack in September of 1939. As you know, the Nazis begin rounding up all the Jews and putting them in ghettos or just murdering them, and this leads the Zabinski family to the decision that they need to help the Jews in Warsaw by hiding some of them underneath their zoo. And the rest of the film is spent watching the Zabinski family attempt to deal with the Nazis who inhabit the city of Warsaw, while they also try to keep the Jews from harm's way by hiding them in their zoo, unbeknownst to the Nazi soldiers. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I've mentioned to you guys before, I think it was in my Miss Sloan review that I did a while back, that I'll pretty much see anything that Jessica Chastain is in. When I originally saw the trailer for The Zookeeper's Wife, I was like, that looks alright, but Jessica Chastain is in it, so I'll definitely be seeing it. I went in not expecting too much, and I left decently satisfied. This is a very middle of the road type of film. I think it has a few elements really working in its favor, and a few elements that will leave you somewhere between somewhat satisfied to ever so slightly disappointed, and it should come at no surprise that one of the pros for this film is the acting, because it is led by Jessica Chastain after all. While I don't think this is Jessica Chastain's best role or performance to date, I think it's definitely not a weak one by any means. I think she shows off just as much range here in this role of Antonina as she did in Miss Sloan, albeit very different characters, but each one has a very strong purpose and a sense of identity. You can latch on to Antonina as the clear protagonist because she's not only strong and intelligent, but also very likable and admirable. Her accent is usually pretty good too, but it can be a little hit or miss, honestly. I think that while there are definitely some other actors in this film who do a nice job, more specifically Johan Heldenbergh as Jan, Antonina's husband, and Daniel Brüh as Lutz Heck, the head zoologist for Hitler and villain of sorts, anytime this film strays away from Jessica Chastain's character for too long, it loses some of its entertainment value. And I think this isn't just the case for big Jessica Chastain fans like myself, because she is the lead actor in this film, and usually that's clear, but sometimes it inexplicably isn't, and you begin following other characters that you'll likely care less about for decent stretches of time. This is sort of tricky because this story is based on true events, and you want to depict those events as accurately as possible, so you need to make sure all the pieces fit naturally within the historical timeline, and in order to do that, you have to either jump ahead years at a time, which they do, or simply follow other characters, which they also do. They're all part of a bigger story, but none of these characters are nearly as compelling as Antonina, so when you're away from her, you're gonna wish you weren't, considering this film is called The Zookeeper's Wife after all. I also think that while this film does have an identity, it often feels fairly generic almost simultaneously, which is something that's pretty unusual in my personal experience. What I mean by that is whenever you're at the zoo and spending time with Antonina and the Jews and hiding, things are interesting because there's a lot of introspection going on and it's good stuff. Anytime you're outside the gates of the zoo, you're looking at things like Nazi brutality towards Jews, the extremely poor living conditions, and eventually the smuggling of Jews out of the ghettos and back to a temporary safe haven in the zoo. These are all things that are very difficult to watch, obviously, but at the same time, they're also things that we've seen from countless other films before that all reenact it more dramatically, intensely, and effectively than The Zookeeper's Wife does. I will say though that in all fairness, there is plenty of drama to go around here, but there's not a lot of significant tension. There are some key moments in the drama department that really hit you in the feels and will have you close to tears, but where this film often falls short is in the execution of its tension-filled scenes. I think you'll feel some semblance of uneasiness, but somehow in the midst of all this brutality, death, and destruction, the film never quite manages to make you feel the extremely high stakes in Poland during World War II. But like I said, this film executes the drama and the way the characters deal with their current situation in a familial style very well, and that's mostly due to the acting performances that are all delivered at a really high level. The drama works because of these acting performances, and I think with great performances and some well executed scenes full of emotion, you end up getting a story that will at the very least make you feel a handful of different emotions, and that's a good thing. So ultimately, The Zookeeper's Wife is a very solid film. Is it anything special? Not really, but it's still an entertaining experience. I thought it had a very likable and interesting protagonist, some strong acting from the entire cast, and some very well executed drama that was full of emotion. Sadly, I also felt the story could often feel too generic, the supporting characters could occasionally prove to be underwhelming, and there's a lack of tension in key scenes. I'm gonna give The Zookeeper's Wife a 7 out of 10 and just barely recommend that you check this one out in theaters if you're looking for a well-acted historical drama piece. Don't expect greatness, but it's still a worthwhile experience. So did you guys see The Zookeeper's Wife yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know your favorite film based on Nazi Germany or the Holocaust. And also let me know whether you think Hollywood should move on from this time period or not. It seems to be such a substantially covered era that maybe it is time to move on, but who knows. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.